Backlog.
A study suggests that video games can boost intelligence in children. This is like an argument as old as time, kind of like you could go back and forth with this one, but I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think that this is true? Or do you think it's just kind of like, a study
Well,
that's.
I saw more of this, and the study actually confirmed
Mm-hmm.
that playing video games improves cognitive abilities of children, and actually more passive activities like browsing social media, Facebook, etc., don't really have any negatives, but don't have any positives either.
Yeah. I would say it's video games give people the ability to kind of use parts of their brain they don't normally use in most situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3D spatial mapping, kind of like, I don't know what the term is, but kind of like static memory where you need to like remember certain things to like use them later. And like all this other things that like you don't necessarily get to do in everyday life. Because I mean, let's face it, humans have kind of like over optimized everyday life. And not in a bad way, but like everything is super easy. There's not a
No,
lot
we
of
must go
actual like
further.
there's not a lot of kind of like mental work you have to actually do in most people's everyday lives, with the exception of maybe some jobs that are like, high cognitive task oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Most jobs we don't have to. I mean, like we even use calculators for like accounting or cash registers now. Like you don't have to put anything in manually. It all just
Yeah.
does it. Like you don't have to count change, or you barely have to count change. If you work in a cash register, you do a little bit, but it's not crazy. It's like maybe like a like 30 seconds worth of figuring stuff out. But yeah, I mean, I would say video games are definitely a great way to. I can certainly see why this is true, and I can certainly see where this comes from. My one complaint is that honestly, I wish video games went farther in this. I think video games also kind of lean too heavily in not needing to make people think, with the exception of puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
As kind of 90s kids, we grew up in the era where there were like a ton of like, Where's Carmen Sandiego, Math Blaster, and educational games. And I haven't really seen any of those games kind of make a resurgence. So, if anything, I'd like to see more actual educational games make a comeback. Because my mom used to be the one to be like, listen, you can only go on and play games if you're playing educational games. So it's like,
Math
she bought me
Blaster,
this.
baby.
Jumpstart fifth grade?
Yeah,
Jumpstart fifth grade?
yeah,
Hell
she
yeah,
bought me
let's
this
go.
whole list of like educational games, and I played like I think at least 4 or 5 of the Where's Carmen Sandiego. And they were fun. I had fun, so I was still playing a video game. I didn't mind. I would say that like if yes, gamifying education is certainly a great way to learn.
Right.
I just wish games went farther. But yeah, I can absolutely see why games can have educational effects on kids. That totally makes sense to me.
All right, yeah. I mean, I totally think so too. I mean, I think the cliche of the video games will rot your brain or you become more violent. I think those are well, I think the jury's still out about the violence one, but I am no expert on the situation. Um,
Neutral. It's like people predisposed to violence
right.
might play violent games, but it doesn't necessarily make
I
them more
mean,
violent.
movies or football can do the
However,
same thing or sports.
movies have been shown to make people more violent.
That 100% makes sense to me, because movies
Yeah.
movies are more akin to like indoctrination and propaganda and all that other stuff. Like there's a lot more like themes that a lot of movies ask you to be like, yes, take this as fact. We should kill all the
Yeah.
bad guys, no matter what they did.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
true. Yeah.
Basically, people are finding that video games aren't actually the devil. Shocking.
So it's kind of funny that we're I guess like science, and like the science might take another 15 to 20 years to develop, but I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they get to the point that like movies have had a more damaging effect on society than anything video games have ever done. Because with video games, like you're not story usually takes a back burner to just gameplay. Like most people don't really care about stories, even when you're playing through them. It's just set dressing for the game mechanics. It doesn't really get you, fired up about anything or invested. You're just like, I'm here to shoot aliens or zombies or, whatever we're fighting. Whereas, like movies try to get you invested to care about the character. But that also has some weird psychological effects because humans are like susceptible to other people's viewpoints, especially when they like them. So if I like the character, then I'm gonna agree with what they're doing, even if it's an ethically questionable action. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if movies have had a worse effect on society.
Listen, I know killing all these people is bad, but hear me out.
I'm the Joker, baby.
He's right. He's the Joker. I'm just saying.
In fact, he is the Joker.
I like him. He's funny. You should be allowed to kill all those people.
What a clown.
To quote Wooly, them white kids sure love the Joker. It's kind of true. It's true.
There's a stereotype. I mean,
I've met people that have Joker tattoos, and I can't say I'm surprised.
Wait, like the forehead tattoo?
No, not damaged. Not that.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Or like girls who have the Harley Quinn tattoo, and I'm like, bro,
it's
that's
a red
not
flag.
a red flag.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag.
This bitch is crazy.
If that's not putting a red flag on your body, I don't know what is. I really don't. I'd be like, do you like her because she has a PhD? Because I'd be like, that's the only thing I'd want to emulate about a Harley Quinn's life.
Yeah, no, she's actually a genius.
Yeah.
But I think you're focusing on something else.
Yeah.
Getting abused by people. I love